few things finer in life than a glass or two of an alcoholic beverage. The warmth in the stomach, the taste on the palate, and the glow that spreads to the ends of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Everything's fine, everything's okay. Conversation flows and you become the funniest man on the planet. You dance, you laugh, you cry, and at closing time, you spill out into the street and party on under the stars. Brief pit stop at the kebab shop for your usual with a double helping of hot chili sauce and a side order of salmonella before continuing on into the early hours of the morning. And then the sunrise finds you passed out on a hedge and, save for a traffic cone for a top hat and the fact that you're covered from head to foot in your own sick, as naked as the day you were born. The nostalgia. But then there are those that abuse alcohol, and they can be found in London in the mid-18th century. In the 18th century, everyone hated the French because they were French, and so tax on French products was higher than their wine and their bread. But Britain had a good couple of years of grain harvest, and that combined with the introduction of a spirit by a Dutch king, whose own troops used to take it into battle with them, resulting in the term Dutch courage, saw a boom in the sale of a liquor called white satin. No? Mother's Ruin? Slappy Bonita? King Theodore of Corsica? The Makeshift? Gin? Yeah. Even Queen Anne drank the stuff. It was extremely popular in Britain in the 1700s, especially amongst the poorer class of people who, obviously up until then, instead of water, drank ale because the water had the same health benefits as licking the bottom of a urinal. And in order to be in business, in the business of selling gin, all you had to do was stick up a notice, and within 10 days you could legally sell liquor. And so cheap distilleries cropped up everywhere, and because of the boom in urbanisation, it was too hard for authorities to keep an eye on it. And soon gin was being sold in illegal gin shops right through the wheelbarrows in the street. Now, because the poor were small and malnourished, their metabolism couldn't possibly cope with the content of alcohol that they were taking in, because they were still drinking it in ale glass measures. So alcoholism boomed, and with it crime, prostitution, venereal disease and death. Now, reformers obviously took issue with this, at one point even claiming that 84,000 infant deaths were directly related to the consumption of gin, and so went about trying to put laws in place to stem this wave of alcoholism. One law encouraged the reporting of illegal gin shops, where informers were paid a substantial amount of money for informing on the neighbourhood activities. But this wasn't too successful because these guys ended up getting attacked in the streets, sometimes by mobs of up to hundreds of people. Eventually, a third Gin Act was passed, which saw the excise on the alcohol raised by 1,200%. This, combined with the increased costs of grain, eventually started to get things under control, but not before a well-publicised case involving a lady called Judith. Judith and her daughter Mary had been enjoying a lovely day, receiving charity from the local parish. Her young child had received brand new clothes, and they were on their way home when Judith, an alcoholic, got the thirst. So she strangled her child and sold her new clothes for a bottle of gin. So next time you're at a family gathering and your sweet old nan says, "Just a gin for me please, love," you look straight into her cold dead eyes and you tell her, "I see you." She could be just hours away from murdering you in your sleep. Some tell tales, others rhyme, but that's the songs from the Howling Sea.
If you're wondering what on earth you just witnessed, you've been watching a video from the Songs from the Howling Sea podcast. Each week I release a song and a video about a person or a subject from London's East End. 52 songs in 52 weeks. For more, visit www.songsfromthehowlingsea.com.